Good morning. We are extremely pleased that you are here. It is good to come together for the purpose of co-creating. Do you agree? It is really co-creating at its best, at its very best. We see you have dragged your physical bodies here. Well, you are so much more. You are so much more than this part of you that you think is you. Oh, it's you, but there's more. There's so much more to you than your physicalness. You are vibrational beings, mostly. While most humans do not recognize that, your animals do. They are instinctual, they are vibrational, they are communicating non-verbally. And because of their non-verbal nature, they rely on a much more powerful means of communicating, which is vibrational resonance, vibrational harmony. They choose their conversations based upon the way they feel. You are humans, you are leading edge creators, and you are socialized. And in your socialization, you have this, we're looking for the perfect word. There isn't one. You have this insatiable seeming desire to articulate your point of view to another, even to those who cannot possibly understand it. Because when you are on one vibrational wavelength or holding a set of beliefs, and you're communicating with someone who is in another vibrational attitude, even though you work hard to set forth your communication with precision, the communication depends upon more than just your transmission of your understanding. The communication or conversation relies also upon their receiving of your signal. And when you are offering a vibration from one vibrational vantage point or knowledge point or belief point or expectation point, and the person that you're talking with or at is operating on another vibrational point, then communication doesn't really happen. And it is so frustrating to you. You so want them to get you that you go on and on and on. But the thing that is so interesting about that is that the more they don't get you and the harder you try, the more you are not who you really are. The more you want someone else who is far from understanding you to understand you, and the more you focus upon the fact that they don't, the more out of sync with who you really are you become. And then what upsets you is not that they don't get you. It's that now you don't get you. You let them, in your attempt to persuade them, lure you away. Now, of course, it's not their doing, it's yours, but it feels better to blame them, doesn't it? Feels like if they would have just behaved differently, you would feel differently. You could be who you are. Aren't there some people that you can just be who you are? That person gets me. That person gets me. Esther had a conversation on the telephone a few days ago with someone's assistant. And this assistant got Esther. It was so delicious. Esther said things that she understood. Not just because she was looking the words up in the dictionary as they talked, but because on a very core vibrational level, they were on the same wavelength. And so they were communicating not just with words, but with heart, with spirit, with knowledge, with beingness, because both of them were tuned in, tapped in, turned on. Both of them were at very high vibrational levels. Both of them had absence of resistance, and both of them wholly got the other. And oh, it was so delicious. Esther said, let's keep talking. But when you are visiting with someone who doesn't get you, and you want them to, The answer is not to continue the conversation. The answer is to withdraw into your own clarity, trusting that law of attraction will match you up with those who are ready to hear you. And when you allow law of attraction to do the matching, and you don't try to assert yourself into the understanding of your children, that's a big one, isn't it? Oh, you so want them to get you, and they so are not interested. It's not a generation gap, it's a vibrational gap, you see. They still think they're free. And often you've given up your belief in your freedom long ago, and you're trying to teach it to them. And they're not easy targets for that. That's something hard for them to let go of. Oh, eventually you'll get them. Society sort of socializes. Society, of course, there is no such thing as society as a being, but there are individual consciousnesses that make up mass consciousness. And that mass consciousness of your human society often believes that the way to feeling good as an individual is to train society to please me. And if you were the only member of your society, it might work out all right for you. But since there are so many others with differing opinions and beliefs and intentions about what is wanted and what is not wanted, that as an individual member of this society, if you believe that your happiness is dependent upon anyone else behaving differently, then you have a hard life, don't you? Because there are not that many who are willing to stand on their head to please you. And even those who are willing are not willing for very long, because none of you were born to please others. You were not born to cast your nets out into society and take polls, don't tell the politicians, of what the general consensus was, and then to contour your vibrational offering to meet the consensus of the masses. That was never your intention, because you knew that the variety that surrounds you would be diverse, and that there would be far more variety and contrast than you would be able to consider or to conform with. Instead, you came forth in your physical body with the singular intention of aligning with the powerful, broader perspective of who you are. You knew before you came into this body that even after being here, that larger perspective, that source perspective part of you would remain and would continue to expand. And you knew that your happiness in your physical body was dependent only upon your awareness of that non-physical part of you and your vibrational alignment with that non-physical part of you. You knew that your alignment was with the source of that which is you. Now, when we use the word source, it sounds like it came before you, so it is the source of you. But really, this source is not like the headwaters of a stream. Well, it really is like the headwaters of the stream, in the sense that it is the headwaters, and then it becomes the rain that becomes the headwaters, and then it becomes the rain that becomes the headwaters. In other words, this stream of consciousness that is you is this eternally flowing, ongoing stream. You were source energy before you came into this physical body. A part of that consciousness is here in this physical body, where you are exploring and coming to new conclusions and preferences of what would be better for you. Now, you are not evaluating those against what all other preferences are. You're just standing in the purity and clarity of your now, knowing what would feel better to you. And the reason that you know what would feel better to you is because you are able to discern what does not feel good to you. In other words, because of this contrasting vibration that has unwanted and wanted in every particle of every bit of it, when you know what you don't want, you know what you do want, even if you are not able to articulate it. You, like the beasts of your planet, are offering far more of your communication through vibrational output than you are through the words you offer. So when you know what you don't want, what you do want emanates from you, and that emanation is received by the non-physical part of you, the non-physical source energy part of you. What we just said to you is that Source, who existed before you in this body, who exists simultaneously while you are in this body, expands because of your exposure to life while here in this body. So when you know what you don't want, you know what you do want, and you send that rocket forward, and that rocket is then received by the source within you and is vibrationally achieved. So when you don't have enough money and you ask for more, whether you use words or not, that desire for more abundance radiates from you, and the larger part of you becomes more abundant. Now, many of you say, but Abraham, non-physical does not really sound like gold coins. Non-physical does not really sound like cash or money in the bank. Non-physical sort of sounds like ideas and thoughts. And we say non-physical is vibration, but the vibrational base of everything that you know that is manifested is a vibrational base. And the vibrational base of your prosperity is being held by Source in what we're calling your vibrational reality. We've given it a more substantial label, this vortex of creation, because we want you to feel and know, as we do, the validity and the reality of the expansion that has taken place because of your interaction with life, and that exists in a now reality, Now you say, well, it might exist in a now reality, but I can't spend it yet, therefore it's future to me. And we say, we'll give that to you. It's future in terms of your manifestation, but it's now in terms of vibration, and therefore it's now in terms of emotion. Therefore it's now in terms of being. It's now in terms of validity. It's now. It's right now. It's now, and you can claim it. But you often don't claim it because it hasn't manifested, and you don't claim it because since it hasn't manifested, you call it future, and therefore still missing. And as long as it feels like it's still missing to you, which it is in terms of being able to see it and hear it and smell it and taste it and touch it, it exists as far as we're concerned in terms of being able to feel it and know it. And if you can make that jump today, if you can make the emotional leap into your vortex where you can know your well-being, where you can know your abundance, where you can know that which you've evolved to, even before others are able to see it, hear it, smell it, taste it, touch it. If you can know it because you've got your tuner set to the now knowing, feeling, converging source energy meets physical beingness moment in time where all of your power is, if you can reach for that powerful knowing point, then first of all, you'll be happy now. The negative stuff will lift off of you, because in knowing who you really are and what you want and practicing the vibration of it, the resistance cannot be in your vibration. And when the resistance is not in your vibration, two wonderful and amazing things happen to you. First and foremost, really we mean this, you feel fabulous. Because when resistance raises or lifts off of you, when resistance is gone and your vibration raises, you are that free-flowing, good-feeling, clear-minded, vital, eager, passionate being that you were born to be. That's the first thing that happens. The second thing that happens is manifestation. Now, many of you say, well, we'd have put that one first. Manifestation seems way better than just being happy. But the reason we didn't put it first is because if you put manifestation before happiness, you hold the manifestation and the happiness off. If you will put happiness before the manifestation, then you can have the happiness now, and the manifestation is right on the heels of it. We're not kidding you even a little bit about that. This is how the science of deliberate creation works. It is something that you can feel and confirm and show evidence of through your manifestation.